baby, the skin looks so good. I am so sorry for taking so long to make a video from the skin, but just because the skin is so amazing, I really wanted to make the gameplay just as amazing as the skin. So instead of just chasing the views and immediately uploading the video, which makes sense as a YouTuber, I actually waited a little bit just to pay respect to the Senna skin, because oh my god, it looks good. And today's gameplay, oh, I'm not even gonna say anything. All I'm gonna say is late game Senna, guys. And so about Senna, in the beginning part of the video, I'm gonna explain how to build Senna, by the way, and there's timestamps in the description if you just want to skip to the gameplay. I actually experimented a lot with the build now, like a lot. So let me immediately get into it. So I tried. Well, no, this is a good build. Like I did go for this build, but let me tell you something about this build. This build is good if you want to carry earlier than the very late game. Like you're going to be dealing damage in the mid game as well. But see, the thing with this build is that really, made me decide to actually never go for this build again, is that you really lack tankiness. You really lack tankiness, because when you go for the Black Cleaver, when you go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, you're gonna be very beefy. You're gonna have, you're gonna be tanky as hell, especially with the conditioning rune, because you're gonna be building a lot of HP, and then the conditioning rune is gonna give you even more magic resist and armor, and then on top of the Iceborne Gauntlet as well, you're not gonna get completely assassinated like you will with this build. So I really don't like this build. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just this build. It takes longer to come online, and what I mean with that is it takes a bit longer to really get that big damage Senna, but it's totally worth it, because when you do get there, you're gonna be incredibly tanky as well. And all you have to do with this build is just stack. Just in the early game you have to relax, because you're incredibly weak actually in the early game, like really weak in the early game, and that's a thing that I'm gonna teach you how to avoid getting demolished, because it happened to me too. But once you get through that initial 5 minutes into the game, it only goes like upwards exponentially. That's how this build works. So let's get into it. The boots that you want to go for, there's two types of boots that I personally go for. Actually three. Either Mercury Threads or Boots of Swiftness, or if the enemy is full attack damage, I go for Plated Steel Caps. But it doesn't really happen too often, right? Only in like 5% of the games, the enemy is full attack damage. But if that's the case, build the Plated Steel Caps, because it's always going to be worth it. If the enemy has a lot of CC, like a Galio, like an Ari, like a Varus, like a... these types of champions that have a lot of CC that are not knockups, you buy the Mercury Threads, because you do not want to get CC'd on Senna. You're going to get absolutely demolished. If the enemy does not have a lot of CC, hard CC, like charms, stuns, things like that, buy the Boots of Swiftness, guys. And let me tell you, these are golden, especially in the early game, because you're going to get them first. This is going to be your first item, right, with the redemption. You're going to be so fast, and it's going to be really easy to like catch out enemies, to hit that basic attack on them and get a free stack. This is really what makes the boots super good. Like, you're going to be easily able to just get close to an enemy and get your stacks up. And then for your enchantment, redemption. It's amazing in redemption on Senna. It's really good, especially combined with your ultimate. Never ever go for locket, and the simple reason for that is because your ultimate is already a locket. It gives a barrier to your team. So go for the redemption, and you can combine it. You throw your redemption in the team fight, and then you use your ultimate. You're literally gonna provide a locket and a redemption to your team. That's what's crazy about this. And then after redemption, you build the Black Cleaver. Not always, however. In some games, you might be against a Soraka or a Nami or like any type of heavy healing champion. If that's the case, then you actually build a Mortal Reminder. And the way that you're going to build it is you build an Executioner's right after your redemption. And then you build the Black Cleaver. And then instead of the Cyrilda's Grudge, you build Mortal Reminder. But that's only if you need the anti-heal. If you do not need the anti-heal, Cyrilda's Grudge is way better, because first of all, it gives you that slow. It gives you that 30% slow on that first ability. That's what really makes it powerful. Every time you shoot your first ability, you're going to be slowing enemies for 30%, right? And the other thing that's good about it is the 15 ability haste. It really counts a lot, and it's just really nice. Mortal Reminder unfortunately does not provide the 50 ability haste, but it does provide the anti-healing. So you should only go for Mortal Reminder if you really need the anti-healing. Otherwise, don't. So after these two items, it's situational. Does the enemy have a lot of attack damage? Definitely get an Iceborne Gauntlet. Even if they have some ability power, it's still worth it, because this is quite literally the perfect item for Senna. This is literally the perfect item, because it gives you 50 armor, it gives you unlimited mana basically, it gives you the 25 ability haste, and then of course, using an ability, you know, you're gonna put the icy field on the ground, and that works perfectly with your first ability. This is really all about your first ability. Of course, also with your second ability, because not only are you going to root the enemies, you're also going to slow some other enemies that try to save them, right? It's going to create the slowing aura. And with your ultimate, it's just, you know, it's really, really good. But the main reason is, of course, the first ability, because it applies on hit effects as well. If you want more range, you can buy the rapid fire cannon as your third item. I do this quite often too. Like if you really want to reach out to enemies, this one is perfect, because if you can basic attack enemies from super far away, hitting that first ability is going to be really easy, because it has a lot of bonus range compared to your basic attacks. So this one is not only going to allow you to hit enemies from super far away, it's going to make it even easier for you to farm stacks on enemies, which is, you know, really, really important on Senna. That's really initially basically what it's all about. It's like Nasus, but in a woman. It's the women form of Nasus. Well, maybe a bit less sexy as Nasus, but you guys know what I mean, right? I mean, no one compares to Nasus, of course. That's why I make those thumbnails. Okay, so yeah, Iceborne Gauntlet. I actually always recommend you to get this. Get this as your fourth item if you haven't gotten it as your third item. Now, there is another item of interest, which I want to talk about, which is Runan's Hurricane. I've tried it and it's not bad. Let me tell you, it's definitely not bad. And if you feel like you don't need the extra range, get the Runan's Hurricane instead of the Rapid Fire Cannon. Now what Runan's Hurricane is going to do, it's going to allow you to hit multiple enemies at the same time. And of course, it's going to allow you to pick up multiple souls at the same time. This can be really good for soul farming, but Rapid Fire Cannon is generally just going to be better because, you know, the passive is just really good. It gives you that bonus damage from the energized stacks and the bonus range, which is really huge, especially when you approach the very late game. The bonus range, like you're gonna poke the enemy really hard with it. This one, it's more, you know, it's more to have fun. Let me just tell you that. It's not really that viable to go for Runan's Hurricane on Senna. It's more to have fun. Now, as your very last item, just go for a Guardian Angel. Or if the enemy has ability power, like if they have a lot of ability power, you can go for, where is the item? Withstand. I'm pretty sure that no one has ever told you to build Withstand on Senna, and I'm telling it to you here. It's actually good in the late game only. You want to buy this as at least your third item. Like, you know, you can actually buy it here. If the enemy really has heavy AP, then buy it as your third item. If they only have a little bit of AP, but it's getting annoying in the later game, buy it as your fourth or fifth item, the Withstand. Otherwise, just get a Guardian Angel. Okay, for the runes, Grasp of the Undying, because you have a Black Cleaver, it has a lot of bonus HP, so Grasp of the Undying is going to provide a lot of value. You can also go for Fleet Footwork, which is perhaps a bit safer, but it's not going to provide you good damage. Like Grasp of the Undying not only heals you, it also gives you bonus damage, you know, when you poke the enemy, which is really, really good on Senna. For your second rune, Gathering Storm. This one is just gonna skill so beautifully in the late game. If you wanna have more of the supporting role, you can also get Weakness, because it works perfectly with Cyrilda's Grudge and Iceborne Gauntlet. When you slow the enemies, you're gonna apply Weakness. But I really like to solo carry games on Senna, so that's why I go for Gathering Storm. Honestly, Weakness is better. I'm telling you guys right now that Weakness is better generally, because it's gonna provide more to your team. But I want to carry the game myself on Senna. When I play Senna, I basically, you know, I don't care about I care about my team, but I care more about myself when I play Senna, because it's going to give you the damage. That's the thing. It might not be the best rune, but it's going to give you so much damage in the late game. And you're going to deal the most damage as Senna support in most games if you play it correctly. For my third rune, Conditioning. Yet again, as I said, this build that I'm giving you guys and the playstyle that I'm going to give you is really bad in the early game. But once you reach 5 minutes into the game, that's where you get the conditioning bonus, and that's where you'll start to get really strong. Really strong. I mean, if you do want to have a safer early game, you can actually run Adaptive Carapace, but it's gonna cost you in the late game. Like, this one is pretty useless in the late game compared to conditioning, really. Now for your fourth rune, Mana Flow Band. It's just like safe for the early game. You can really spam your abilities when you go for the Mana Flow Band. You're never gonna run out of mana. And for your spells, you want to go for Flash and exhaust. I do not want to see I do not want to see Senna's with heal. I've been trying, and heal is just not worth it because your first ability is already a heal, and exhaust is absolutely perfect. There's numerous reasons for that, and I'll show you during the gameplay because we're already talking about the build for 10 minutes long. So enough about this. Let's now get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay, guys. I played like 30 Senna games or something for this video. And the reason for that is because I really want to I want to make a quality video with this skin, because just look at this skin, guys. Oh my god. It is really beautiful. The skin looks so good. I only have one complaint about the skin, which you'll see later, which is it's actually a little hard to identify your souls on an enemy. You know, when you have to hit enemies twice to catch the souls. When you hit the enemy one time, it should show that there is a soul on them, and then the second time you pull the soul. So with this skin, it's actually a little hard to see. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Like if I hit this, look, boom. You see that tiny little red glance on the enemy, but honestly, like when the enemy is hiding under his minions, it's not that easy to see. It's not that easy. But let's immediately talk about what happened here. Was that worth the soul what I just did there? No. It's true that I got one soul there. Here, this is not worth what I'm doing here. You really, and this is actually a mistake that I make. I always make this on Senna because, so, even though when you play Senna, you have to maximize the souls that you're getting, it's a little, it's the same as Nasus actually. So, oh, look at this. Even though you want to get as many souls as possible, you of course don't want to die. That's the thing, you don't want to die, because if you die, even though you took a lot of souls, you died. You gave gold to the enemy, and you're losing even more souls. So sometimes it's okay to just relax in your lane and not go too far. Like, look, this was perfect. What I did to that vein there, that's a really easy way of getting a soul, right? With your first ability from a safe distance, and then a basic attack from a long distance. But you have to be really careful, as I said. Don't overstep too far. Like, look, my positioning is actually really good here. I'm playing this absolutely perfectly, this fight. My positioning has been beyond perfect here. Beyond perfect, actually. So you can clearly see, as a Senna, you don't want to be up their face. You want to be as far away as possible as you can. That's also why she has that passive, to give her bow. Oh, that felt so good. That kill felt so satisfying. That was so nice. And see, the thing with Senna is too, you have to understand how her basic attacks really work. All you have to do is get into the range of the enemy for only 0.01 seconds, and then click on them, and it's enough. Even if they run away, flash away, dash away, whatever, you are gonna hit that basic attack. And this is a thing that you really have to understand, and it's gonna work really well for you for gathering stacks in the lane. Because when an enemy is trying to run away, and see, now is where I'm gonna be talking about the boots of swiftness, you can catch up to them, and even though they're running away, you can gather that soul because you caught up to them with your boots of swiftness. That's how it works, guys. Oh, yeah, I exhausted him because I didn't want to take risks. Because if he would have gone all in there, he could have actually killed us, but not with the exhaust, of course. Exhaust is so powerful, guys, really, especially when you're against the Vayne, by the way. Exhaust is probably the most underrated spell in the game. I'm pretty sure... No, actually, Ghost is probably the most underrated, because it's actually pretty decent on Tryndamere, Nasus, Singed, but also Exhaust. I really believe Exhaust is a very underrated rune, and more people should use it, because it's definitely a good rune. So you can see I got 25 stacks. Oh my god. I think he was ignited. It looked like he was ignited. That's why I used my ultimate there, actually. I'm not sure if he was actually, but yeah. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like. It helps a lot, and yeah. Ooh, and I have a Patreon, you know. I just quickly want to talk about the Patreon again. If you want to skip, just skip like 30 seconds into the video, but it's okay. I have a Patreon, you know, you can donate money every month. It starts at like €5 per month, and you're gonna get some benefits, right? Like, I'm gonna play custom ARAMs with people, and if you donate more, I also do coaching. You know, I offer coaching, and I also, like, if you go into the really high tiers, you can actually request me champions to play, and I will do it. But okay, that was it. You know, if you want to do it, you can check it out. There's a link in the description. If not, it's totally fine. Just watch the videos. I'm still me, and yeah. Alright, so I'm just kind of chilling here with Senna, right? We're almost approaching the 5th minute, and that's where a switch clicks with this build. That's where you have to click a switch and be like, okay, now I am a little stronger. You're still weak. I'm not saying you're strong. You're still weak. Oh, by the way, here I'm doing the dragon because it's quite obvious that the enemy is going for the Rift Herald. So yeah, like here you are a little stronger. So you can play a bit more aggressive. And what you always also have to pay attention to is your stack count. And as you can see right now it's at 29. But what you have to pay the most attention to is when you reach the milestones of 20s. You know, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 stacks. Because the way that Senna power spikes work is she becomes stronger and stronger and then boop. And then stronger and stronger and stronger and then boop. And then stronger and stronger and stronger and then boop. What are these boops? Oh my god, did I just say that? Jesus Christ, I'm actually asking for it I'm asking for these meme videos. I really just said, what are these boobs? But I really didn't mean that. I Jesus Christ. Okay, whatever. I'll take that L. I'll take that L. Sometimes you gotta take L's in life. But what are these steps? Of course, these are every time you reach 20 stacks, 20, 40, 60. So at those moments exactly, like look, right now I have 37. Oh, close. I could have killed him with a flash, but I decided that it was not worth it because I would have given a kill to the cutter. What am I doing? I got a kill. Is this worth? Oh my god. Oh. Okay, that was too greedy. That was too greedy. But right now I have 41 stacks. So as I said, this is like the big power spike. And exactly at these points, you are really strong. Like these are points that you're really strong and you have to look for something. And another thing is when you have like 58 stacks or 59 and your team is fighting, you should actually tell them in the chat, yo guys, please just one more stack before the fight. It's way better to start the fight off at 60 stacks than 59. Because you're immediately gonna have that bonus range and the bonus crit chance. So you really have to pay attention to those. And the 20s, that's where your power comes from, guys. That's where the big power comes from. What happened to the sound, by the way? Oh, it's fine again. Is it? Is it just me or is the sound weird? Now it's good again. Ah, whatever. Okay, and see the thing is, Senna is not like Nasus with the power spikes. As I said, of course with the 20 stacks, but there's also another difference between Senna and Nasus. When you play Nasus, he becomes incredibly strong in the mid game, like really, really strong. And then you might argue that he becomes weaker in the late game even though he gets more stacks. Let me explain why. Because if you're against a champion like Orianna or Jinx or Ezreal or whatever, what's gonna happen is they're gonna buy armor penetration or magic penetration, and they're gonna buy anti-healing items, which they won't have in the mid game. And that's why Nasus does actually become a bit weaker in the very late game, because the enemy is going to do way more damage to you than the mid game. Now Senna, completely different. Senna only becomes stronger. She becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. There is no point of return. After you reach that 5th minute mark, she only becomes stronger, and it grows exponentially. That's the funny thing about it. Like, the longer the game goes, the stronger she gets, but she gets way stronger. It's exponential. And I'm gonna ask to you guys. Wait, is this a good question? No, I'm just gonna tell you. So the reason that you get exponentially stronger is, first of all, when everyone is full build, it doesn't really matter if they have armor penetration or things like that. Because it's not going to reduce your damage. You're not a tank. You're just going to do more and more damage. And the second reason that you become exponentially stronger, and this one, Nasus shares this reason as well, is in the late game it becomes easier to gather stacks. And the reason for that is the minion waves. After 12 minutes into the game, the minion waves change. Every single minion wave is gonna have one more cannon minion. Here I just got caught out. So after 12 minutes into the game, that's where you can accumulate even more stacks, because as I said, every minion wave in the whole game is gonna have one more cannon minion, which means a guaranteed soul, and you really want to be around those waves. And as a late game Senna, you should never think like I already have enough stacks, I already have 80 stacks, I don't need more stacks, I just want to focus on fighting. No, that's not what you do. Same as Nasus, every stack you lose is just permanent damage loss. And it's huge. This is really big. This is what your mindset has to be with Senna. Of course, you do not want to lose permanent damage. You want to get as much damage as you can, even if it's the late game. Keep stacking up, and especially in the late game, because... Oh, we're getting wrecked. Oh, look at my damage though, man. But especially in the late game, because it's easier to stack up in the late game. Also in team fights, you should also look at team fights, because it's so easy to stack up in team fights as well. Here you can see, test your knowledge. Why was this a horrible fight for us to take? There are several reasons. I'm gonna unpause the video, but you should pause the video. That fight was the most horrible fight we could have possibly taken. Tell me the reasons right now in the comments. If you've listened to me, and if you observe, you should understand that that was literally the worst possible fight we could have taken. So pause the video right now, put it in the comments, test your knowledge, and I'm gonna say it right now. So pause the video. Okay. Reason number one, I had 59 stacks at the end of that fight. So I did not utilize the bonus range from the 60 stacks, which, as I said, is one of those power spikes. You have to utilize those. And the other thing was, I only needed 700 gold for Cyrilda's Grudge, which, as you can see, look at this, look at this. Look at that slow. Hello guys, look at that slow. It's unbelievable how strong Cyrilda's Grudge is on Senna. It just saved my ass because of the slow. Every time you hit your first ability and your second ability and your ultimate, you're going to be applying that 30% slow for a whole second to the enemy. Of course, I want to have those big power spikes. Why would I fight without them? Oh, the Camille, man. This is not good. Like in the past 5 minutes, I really didn't get a lot of stacks in this game, which is probably gonna bite me in the ass in the late game, because I'm losing damage. So what do you do in a situation like this when you play Senna? Give up? No. What you do is you have to make a plan for yourself. Okay. Before the Elder Dragon, you can just hard focus on stacking up, and that's what I have to do. I need to get to like 100 stacks, something like that, to really do a lot of damage. And right now I have 65, which is definitely not enough to solo carry the game. So I really have to focus on gathering stacks right now and just not look for too many fights. So here you can see, 2 cannon minions, 2 free stacks. Wait, why am I not getting the other one? What am I doing? I just said don't fight. That is so, look at how... This is the reason that I took this game. This is why I say I want to upload a top quality game, because here you can see me doing so many stupid things that you can also learn from it. Look at my stacks at 66. 1.5 minutes ago I was at 65. I only got 1 stack in 1.5 minutes. Are you guys seeing how this is problematic? And see, the main reason that this is problematic is because Senna actually doesn't get any attack damage from leveling up. You fully rely on those stacks to get attack damage. So that's why this is horrible. I'm only at 66 stacks. It's not enough. I need more. This is just so incredibly stupid of me to just... I died so often for no reason at all. It was really stupid, honestly. We can look for this fight. It's 5 of us right here, and the enemies are actually a little low, so potentially we could actually look for a fight here. Oh, Fizz just missed his ultimate actually. This is really bad. Oh, the Camille is so fat actually. Yeah, this is not looking good for us. Camille's really, really fat. At least we proc that stupid Guardian Angel of the Camille. Ah, it's not too bad. Oh, he actually flashed on me. Uh-oh, there is a Katarina, and we got her. Yeah, the Camille is a problem, as you can see. This Camille is a problem. We all got killed, but this was not the worst deal, because I actually got a lot of stacks from that team fight. As I said, you know, when you team fight with Senna, and you play it safe, you know, if you don't die throughout the team fight, you should not only focus on just fighting. During team fights, you should also focus on stacks. Because as I said, team fights are literally a gold mine for stacks. You can seriously get between like 10 and 15 stacks in a single half a minute team fight. You can really get that many. And the main reason for that is your first ability, but also your ultimate. Your ultimate also applies stacks, so you want to hit those things on as many enemies as possible to get those stacks out of them, guys. It's really, really important. Oh, okay, nice. We got the dragon. That's really good. Here I'm just probably... No, I was gonna check the Baron, but then I saw the Camille right there. This is too risky. We shouldn't really do this. Yeah. He's dead, isn't he? Boom. One more stack. Boom, there it is. Look at my stacks, guys. 76. Do not fight. Make sure you get 80. I have 79 right now. I just want to get 80 stacks. That's all I want. Because as I said, these are the big power spikes. And there it is, 80 stacks. So we're getting there. We are getting there slowly but steadily. But this is still not quite enough to just solo carry the game. See, when you reach 100 stacks, that's where the game really changes. That's where you've approached the super late game Senna. And at this point, from this point onwards, it just becomes crazy, honestly. Like, the range and the damage that you're gonna deal is gonna be absolutely crazy. It's gonna be so damn broken. And as I said, when you get after the 12th minute mark, it's really easy to get those stacks. All you have to do is just get close to your teammates when they clear out waves. You can see that the enemy Camille has 4 items. I only have 2 items, so she's a big problem for us. Look at this wave. That's 3 cannon minions right there. See, especially when the enemy takes an inhibitor, it's gonna be even easier for you to accumulate stacks, of course. I need to get the Iceborne Gauntlet because it's a huge power spike. There it is. I don't know what my Riven is doing, honestly, against the Vayne. Yeah, he died. Like, what are they doing? They're just staying alone. Oh, that's a good catch, but the Riven was just alone right there, which is really stupid. They're obviously gonna do the Baron. But we should be able to go in and fight. Let's see. Oh, I'm going too far. I went too far. That was really risky. Because the Vayne could have not pushed me and then she would have just killed me. So let's take a look at this. I have 87 stacks, but look at how strong I am. But this guy's level 15 actually. Oh my god. This guy's just... Look at him. Look at him. Boom. I'm just hitting him. But yeah, I'm killing him. Oh, there it is. That was nice. Like, you can clearly see that I'm actually dealing a lot of damage right now. Even though I was 2 levels behind the Camille, you could see that I'm actually, you know, I'm dealing damage right now. And this is the point where you're gonna do significant damage. Enemies cannot ignore you anymore. I need to sneeze, man. But... oh, it's not coming out. Oh, nice one. I saved my Riven right there. I really saved his ass. Look at these stacks, guys. This is stack heaven for Senna. Boom, 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 boom. So many stacks. And I'm at 100 stacks, just like that. Did you see that? That wave just gave me like 8 stacks or something. This is what happens. See, honestly, right? Losing the mid lane inhib is probably a good thing when you're playing Senna. Because the mid lane inhib doesn't really apply a lot of pressure. Not like the side lane inhibs, which does apply a lot of pressure. But when the enemy takes the mid lane inhib, you're gonna get free stacks. It's free real estate in the mid lane. Look at this. Just look at this wave. Take a look at this wave. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 cannon minions and then also some small minions. Here, look at this. Boom, 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 and boom. 4 stacks, just like that. So actually losing that mid lane inhib might even be a good thing. Never give up the game when you play Senna. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Never ever give up the game. Like, even though this game is still looking pretty bad for us, I have 106 stacks right now. I have 3 items. My damage is getting serious. So all you have to do is position correctly. And your positioning keeps changing as well. The further you reach into the late game, the further away you can be from the team fight. Like, just look at this, by the way. Oh my god. Like right now in this game, I can be super far away from the fight and still deal damage. Because not only the range of your basic attack increases, also the range of your second ability and your first ability. Look at this, look at this. I'm just staying far away. Look at my range. See this? Oh, they actually hard dive me, but it's fine. It's already fine. We actually won this fight. Someone might need to go back. One guy needs to go back. Yeah, base 1 person. This should be game. We killed the Camille. This should be game. Why are they taking the Elder Dragon? We can end the game. Look at top lane. Why are they not ending the game? I mean, okay, sure, but we could have ended the game right there. But now we got the Elder. And honestly, at this point, there should be no way for the enemies to win anymore. Elder Dragon with Senna with 113 stacks. That's game over, isn't it? And here you can just clearly see that it really doesn't matter if you get really behind on Senna. Once you reach the late game, easy game. Because you're going to deal so much damage. So much. It's just crazy. Honestly, I feel like Senna needs... I don't think she needs a nerf. Perhaps a rework, because it feels too broken to me. It honestly feels too broken to me how strong her late game is. It's just, it's so stupid when you have 120 stacks. It's just your range and everything. It's just like, you'll see how stupid it gets. Oh, be careful of the Vayne, please. Senna is also pretty good into Vayne, because you completely outrange Vayne. So you're pretty decent. You're a pretty decent pick into a Vayne. Yeah, they can't do anything right now. Look at this. Look at my range. Just look at my range. Like, are you guys seeing how far away from the teamfight you can stay, but yet still do everything? Do all your basic attack, hit all your abilities. Look at this. Are you guys seeing it? This is a very important part about playing Senna. The positioning. You see how far away I got that kill? This is what you do. Make sure you stay far away, and the more stacks you get, the further away you're gonna stay in teamfights. Like, look, I have 120 stacks right now. There it is. We just won this game. So, use this to your advantage. Use the stacks to your advantage. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys about Senna. The more stacks you get, the bigger your range, the more your damage, the easier the positioning is gonna be, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching the skin as well. I did, for sure. And let's take a look at how much damage I did and things like that. I actually dropped to Master, unfortunately, but now I'm Grandmaster again, so it's fine. Of course, I got the MVP. Look at this. I literally dealt the most damage in this game as a support Senna, by the way. Support Senna dealing the most damage in the game. That's where it is, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.